Hey y'all, it's your queen, Pimp Sun Kiss, coming through right quick, right fast, maybe, with part 2 of the review for The Best Man, the final chapters, episode 1. So like I said, this is part 2, and we picking up upon their arrival to the resort. Y'all, I have watched this multiple times, and I am not certain what island they are on, but I think it is Tibet. I think they are in Tibet, but I'm gonna clarify before this video is over. In Nahu, we get a panning of the island. Oh, I'm sorry. In Nahu, without further ado, let's get into. Okay, we get a panning of the island to the tune of Sean Paul. I know the words. I ain't trying to get hit up. I ain't trying to get hit up, child. But just know I'm not making fun of him. I know the words. Anywho, so everybody arrived and they are gearing up to go meet quiamara. You know, Candy and Merch are talking, and Candy is like giving her rundown everything that she want to do while she on the island, and one of those things includes tantric sex. And she's talking about, well, she's emphasizing to Merch that he gonna have to quote unquote hold it. That mean ain't no pull out, ain't no Twinkies, ain't no cream pies, ain't no none of that. Hold it. Hold it. Okay. You're gonna have to hold it. And she's like, we've never done that before. Da, 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 da. He not listening, honey. He not listening. He is consumed by the best man role, title, and all of that. Which brings up another theme that we'll get deeper into as we go through. About roles and titles and what we feel like they mean. I kind of brought that up in the first part of this review. I brought that up as it concerned Jordan and Shelby, as well as the comparison and contrast between Candy and Merch and Robin and Harper. But anywho, if you ain't see that part, make sure you watch that part and you'll understand more about what I mean by that. But like I said, we'll talk about it as we go through. But Merch is obsessing over titles at this point. So he's not even listening to anything that Candace talking about. He is fixated on being the best man. And he's just agreeing to things like, yeah, not even knowing what the hell is actually going on. So they get up to the car. What they call it? You call it a trolley, but it's not a trolley. They in a van, but it's gonna trolley them to the next spot. The shuttle. It's a nice shuttle too. But so they get up there, and everybody is staying and doing their pleasantries with the driver lady, who is bad. Okay, I'm talking about bad, real bad girl, bad. Okay, and Lance is up there grinning and skinning all up in her face, and she grinning and skinning all up in his face. Child being real extra, honey, real extra. And you know it's some shit bound to come from there, right? Oh, just hold that thought. Everybody get in the car. Harper roll his window down so we can see his face. Child, a fool. He is making the face that is the epitome of ninja please. Like, I know you are lying to me. So Harper already know what's bound to go down. But they get on over to the spot, the cabana or whatever, that they meet in quiamara at. And if you haven't, caught on by now that quiamara is Quentin and Ziamara's name put together. So they meet up at the cabana to meet quiamara, and everybody is laying it on thick. They are mesmerized by the presence of your girl. And this is one reason why I love that they use Nicole Ari Parker, because it's a lot of light-skinned women that I feel like get called beautiful and gorgeous and all of that simply because they are light-skinned, and I be like, whatever. But Nicole Ari Parker is strikingly gorgeous to me. She is like an etheric type of beautiful, like a Naomi Campbell, Vanessa Williams, what's her name from Dubai? Chanel Lyon from Dubai, Iman, like a real etheric, like magical, majestic, mythical type of beautiful, like Angela Bassett. Like, I feel like Joy Bryant is kind of like she has a simplistic type of beautiful face, but it's something about her whole makeup that gives me etheric. But yeah, enough about all that. I just said all that to say I feel like it's very fitting that they use someone like Nicole Ari Parker to come in and be this etheric, striking presence of beauty. And I feel like she emotes that very well. And the fact that they put her in dark hair, oh yes, becomes her. And also, with that being said, child, oh, and see, that's a whole conversation in itself that I'm not even sure of how to have just yet. But the strikingly beautiful women gawking at her strikingly beautifulness. Like, you got Nia Long, Regina Hall, Sanaa Lathan, all gorgeous, strikingly beautiful women gawking at Xiomara, Nicole Ari Parker's strikingly beautifulness. And it's like, oh, like, do y'all know that y'all are in the same category? I hope you know that y'all are also bad. It's a lot of bad ass ladies on this show in general. Even the extras are bad. Even the ones that got small speaking roles, one-liners. Baby, bad. Bad. I tell you, bad. But okay, back to the story. Everybody is laying it on thick. Okay? I feel like quiamara is laying it on thick to the peoples to, emphasize the love and emphasize the zen and emphasize the breeziness of it all. Okay? And then on the other end, you got the crew laying it on thick to, like, I feel like, impress her. I feel like, they're in the presence of someone who they consider to be like a superstar, if you will. But I also feel like a part of it is them trying to cover up their disbelief in Quentin wanting to be married and wanting to be married to somebody like her. Now, I feel like the way Quentin's character is structured and developed, it would kind of make sense for him to want to marry somebody like Xiomara, because she's on that, like, esoteric vibe, all that zen shit. But at the same time, you can tell that it's a well-rounded zen. It's a wild card type of zen, that she got some bite to her. She got some, like, extra pizzazz and fireworks going on there. It's not just bubblegums and rainbows, tea and biscuits and shit, sage and all that. But child, Harper is, like, introducing himself, and he is saying some things along the line, like trying to flatter her. And like, I know a lot about you. I heard a lot about you and this and that. And she play a little jokey joke like, oh, you think you know me? Threw him off his game, okay? Everybody was like, Harper, apologize. You offended her. You offended her. But then she was like, I'm just fucking with you, Harper. And so here goes Merch being extra. So like, oh yeah, had the best man off kilter. Ah yeah, da 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 da. Then he got to come through with this little poem that he done put together, talking about staras and quiamara and all this other foolishness. And y'all, Merch is so handsome to me. He's such a handsome little adorable man. But anywho, they do their whole thing. Your girl is flattered, and she also extends some flattering over to Candy, being young, gifted, and black educators and whatnot. That's not their black excellence adjective lineup, but that's the one that I can think of at the moment. And it was extra flattering because nobody else on the show can put together exactly all the adjectives attached to the award that Candy is receiving for her and Merch and their charitable work and their youth work and educative work and all of that they have done. And quiamara says it efficiently, and that really floats Candy's boats and gets everybody going. So they ask, where's Lance? Harper says, oh, he'll be coming soon. And that is absolutely correct. He will be coming soon, just not in the way that the child think, because he is over there in the, I keep wanting to call it a charter. He over there in the shuttle, banging that thing all the way out of the driver, okay? Banging that thing all the way out. And baby, I cannot. So the crew dispersed to go get themselves together so they could change and get prepped and all of that for the rest of the festivities for the rest of the night. And Harper is perturbed. Harper is perturbed because he feels like something is afoot. Something's not right, really wrong with Quentin and Xiomara. All this quiamara shit is not sitting right with him. He says something is not clean in the buttermilk. And Robin is trying to stress to him that he's overreacting. He being a hater. He being old pessimistic harp and whatnot. And I kind of feel like it's both. I'm pretty sure that Harper is a Virgo. I don't know if they ever bring it up. I would have to watch the other movies to see if it's ever brought up what Harper's zodiac sign is. But Harper acts like a Virgo to me. And a lot of earth signs in general don't like change. And Harper's character structure does not do well with change in a way. He likes change as it concerns elevating and climbing the stair of success. But when it comes to personality traits and character traits and a certain routine actions and reactions, patterns and things of that nature, he doesn't like change. So I feel like a part of his response is him picking up the fact that Quentin is not being himself. I don't know who he's trying to be, but this is not like something is off here. And I feel like another part of that is fear, him fearing that he's going to lose the friend that he knew. And I feel like that fear is also a trigger of just Harper, not liking change, not liking when people change up their characteristics and their patterns. I also feel like there could be a little jealousy concerning the fact it may feel like or seem like Quentin has found his soulmate, if you will, or Quentin has found somebody who can, will, and has elevated his soul. And Harper may feel like he doesn't exactly have that. Like, he loves Robin and he's satisfied for the most part with Robin, but he may not feel like Robin elevates his soul. Robin may not get his sap rising in a spiritual sense. And I personally feel like that has a lot to do with Robin being a people pleaser. But that's something that I'll get into in the later episodes more so. But Robin distracts him from dwelling on that by coming out with the tits and the ass and the thighs all out, trying to get the bang on for that thing. And Harper goes down on her, and we pan to Jordan on the phone with Shelby. And Shelby is still trying to convince her, loosen up. Don't be doing all that work shit. Don't be doing all this extra shit. Jordan got on this freakum dress type situation on, this little black freakum dress type ensemble. And Shelby is like, is that your don't fuck me dress? Because it's missing the don't part. But I'm like, baby, you told her to step out. You told her to put it all out there, lay it on the table, and let them suck it off the table. So, child, let her lay it out. And so it's a very friendly conversation mixed with, okay, girl, you're getting on my nerves, bye. And they bye of it all. And Harper enters the situation, enters the conversation with Jordan, and is talking about, the movie, and bringing it up to her, and bringing it up about getting everybody's blessings. And Jordan is concerned about being represented as a stereotype. So there's that theme, that reoccurring theme coming up again about stereotypes as well as roles and titles. But a lot of concern about stereotypes as they concern roles and titles. Okay. So Harper talks about how Murch is not wanting to give his blessing until and unless he can be the best man for the wedding. And Jordan is like, give it to him, because do you see what is happening? Do you see what the birds are trying to feed us? It's not given. And Harper is like, bro, so I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. And so now Harper feels, validated in his perspective that something is afoot. And it's a conversation that comes up later that kind of makes me wonder if Quentin was being a hobosexual in a way. But it's other things in the midst that make me feel like he wasn't, that just make me feel like he was just, he was just doing his thing. It's just some shit that happened. But I'll get to that when we get to that, honey. But oh yeah, okay. So they agree on that. And again, I kind of feel the same about Jordan's perspective, whereas I feel like they're both onto something because they know Quentin. They have known him for so long. They have known him since basically their youth. So what parts of him are bound not to change. So if they've changed, it's like, damn, what has really happened that made you want to do that, because it ain't been like that all this time. But I feel like another part of it is, like I said about Harper, jealousy. Because even though Harper is married and Jordan is not, they have that commonality of feeling like perhaps they didn't, or they haven't truly gone after the person that really warms their soul, that really electrifies their spirit on some shit. and elevates them in a way that they can't do for themselves. Damn, that's a word, huh? Because they both are such like workaholics and like hyper independent with certain things and in certain ways. While I feel like Harper has codependent traits, he is hyper independent when it comes to taking action on things. I'll say that. And so both of them could have this mindset where the person that'll really excite me, the person that'll really elevate me, is the person that can do for me what I can't do for myself. So, all that being said, all that being said, child, tricky. And one reason I say that is because one thing I noticed that Harper struggles to do for himself is hold himself accountable. And that's low-key, high-key, kind of the ping-ponging of him between Jordan and Robin. Because Robin holds him accountable when it comes to his friends and his work. But she doesn't hold him accountable when it comes to how he deals with her, how he treats her, and how he handles and values and how he shows value, or lack thereof, to their relationship and their bond and their marriage. Whereas Jordan is a spitfire. She says what she has to say, period. So she holds him accountable for his actions with his friends. She holds him accountable for his actions with himself. She holds him accountable for his actions in his marriage. She holds him accountable. She tells it like it is, period. And I feel like that is a part of why he feels more elevated by her. Y'all, my cat just decided to show up to the party, and I'm trying to prevent her from setting herself or anything else on fire. So please, excuse the background noise and the random jumps of energy. But anywho, that's why I feel like Harper appreciates and values Jordan a little more in certain ways, because essentially she is more honest with him. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that holding people accountable is an act of honesty, which is also an act of love for that person. Yeah, because, you're not going to just sit up and watch the person you love constantly make a fool out of themselves or hurt themselves by constantly hurting other people. But anywho, so the rest of the crew ends up walking up and kind of dispersing their conversation that they were having about Quentin and his differences. And they are dispersing to go to the beach, I believe. This is when they're finna get into the psychedelic herbs of it all and, just getting a good feel of the whole island resort situation. But, child, this is what was so funny to me. As they are dispersing, and Harper tells her, you know what I'm saying, wrap up all your phone calls. She talking about she just got to make one phone call. He like, is it 1 or 3? The sun sets at 6:30, Little jokey joke, because she don't know how to just relax and stop all that work shit. She gonna say that she wants Beyonce to play her in the movie. So he gonna have to get his coins in order. For real. And I find that so funny, first of all, because Sanaa Lathan is the one that bit Beyonce, allegedly. And also, if I'm remembering correctly, Nia Long said, I don't know if it was an interview or what, but I believe it was Nia Long. If it wasn't Nia Long, it was at least Neil. But I think it was Nia Long that said that Beyonce can't act her way out of a paper bag. So if I'm remembering that correctly, and it was Nia Long that said that Beyonce can't act her way out of a paper bag, but then they gonna have her say that, well, they gonna have her character say that she want Beyonce to play her in the movie. That is absolutely hilarious to me. But to wrap that scene up completely, Jordan's end of scene look, I have got to look up what the actual term for that is, but the look that she gives at the very end of the scene, it's like the second one, but she looks up. They don't show Harper, but it's to be assumed that she's watching Harper walk away. And the look on her face is like a longing type of look, or like a I miss you, but I don't know how to say it type of look. And I feel like this can be Jordan missing Harper as a friend, as a companion, because I'm sure they don't have as much time together as they used to, being the fact that he's married, now has a kid, and she's elevated so in her career that she's always on the go. But also, it seems to be getting to her in a way that she doesn't have a romantic companion, and that she seems to have somewhat of a difficult time maintaining or being maintained as a romantic companion. But we pan away from that scene and we go into a scene, quick little scene with Robin and Candace. But first with Robin in a state of meditation. She has her eyes closed and she's sitting there. And I am wondering if Jordan started doing this because Robin was doing it, or if it's just a coincidental commonality between the two women. The meditation, that is. Because Jordan has like a... Oh, and for the life of me, I can't remember if it's shown in this episode or not, but Jordan has a meditative routine as well that we see more in the later episodes. But Robin is here trying to settle her mind, and you can hear the cycle of thoughts, which is realistic as fuck, because that is what happens, especially when you first start meditating. You have all of these miscellaneous reoccurrent thoughts in your mind, like, ooh, I gotta do this. What's going on over there? Oh, bird. Ooh, poopy. Whatever. Like, just stuff going through your mind. And what's going through Robin's mind is she gotta check on Mia, things to do when you get back, what's going on with the crew, all this other stuff. And then it rolls over to, this resort is beautiful. Just relax. Shut your brain off. And it seems like as soon as she gets to that state of harmonizing all of the thoughts and getting into a state of simply being, she takes herself out of it and says that she's going to go for a walk. And she looks up and sees Candy vigorously working on her speech. And she says to Candy, yeah, I thought you was going to relax. So we see Candy is also in an excessive state of want to have fun, want to relax, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta get this work done, gotta work, gotta go right now type ass shit. So we see all of the ladies struggling to just chill, which is interesting because it seems like the guys are kind of falling right into it. Even though merch has an agenda, it seems like the guys have effortlessly fallen into the ambiance of the island and relaxation and just have a good time and not focusing on all the other stuff, while the ladies are still in a state of gotta do this, gotta get this done, gotta do which we'll have that conversation another time, but it's definitely a conversation to come back up, okay? So Robin goes for her walk. And it also seems like to me in this scene, based off of what Candy says about her, like trying to find the right words that are worth all of this, is what she says. And what I get from that is her kind of struggling to feel worthy, you know? Because essentially, if you feel like you're worth the reward or the acknowledgement, then you understand that whatever comes from you is worthy. So it lets me know that not only does Candy struggle with some self-worth issues, but maybe struggling to receive also, maybe struggling to be acknowledged, to be spotlighted, if you will. And I feel like that comes from the dark experiences of having been a stripper. I also wonder what else of that could come from her childhood and shit. Which is why I hope that this series gets some type of spinoff or actually gets at least 1 or 2 more seasons, because I would like to get into all of the characters' childhood more. We know about their college life. We know about the potential of their teenage lives based off of their college lives. But we don't know a whole lot about their actual upbringings. And that is what I would like to see as fuck, or get some more like information and shit on. Anywho, as Robin is taking her walk, she goes through this, like, I want to call it a diner, but it's not a diner. It's like it's a little food place that's on the resort. And it's like outdoors, so it's like inside but outside. And Robin walks through there. She sees Jordan, speaks to her. We see and hear Jordan on the phone doing work. Talking about, gotta go through the slate before we can go through the budget, and we gotta do this and we gotta do that, this and that and And Robin walks through and speaks to her. She's like, hey, gorgeous, the person on the phone, like, hi. And she's like, no, I'm talking to Harper's wife, Robin. And again, baby, when I say Nia Long be acting her face off. Nia Long with these looks and these side eyes, okay? She looks up and gives that, hey, hi, gorgeous, da 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 da. But she gives this interesting little side eye, this discomforting type of side eye to Robin as she looks down away from speaking to her and is responding to the person on the phone and looking up about to speak to the waitress. So all of that lets me know, one, that Jordan is in the midst of a whole lot of she being tugged and pulled in between a whole lot of. But specifically that look that she gave to Robin, ooh-wee, says a lot to me. And I don't particularly think that Jordan has animosity towards Robin. I think it's just a bit of jealousy there, and maybe even a bit of kind of the same feeling that they were having about quiamara. Feeling like, essentially, you know, when you just know a person and you always knowing them on a deep type level, you can often point out when they're in a relationship with somebody that is quote unquote not for them, or not the person that they probably should or would work best with, type shit. And so I feel like Jordan probably feels that way deep down. Like, I don't know what he doing with her. Or maybe even, I don't know what she doing with him. But I do think Jordan is a bit male identified. So I think it's like she's male identified, but she's also about women empowerment. And this, it's probably the only thing that's a little balanced about her. But in this somewhat balanced type of way, to where she's able to glorify Harper and kind of see him through this halo effect, but she's also able to see how full of shit he is and can be all at the same time. So I feel like it's a lot of mixed emotions, which parallel with her being in the midst of a tug and pull between a whole lot of different things. Because the physical things that she's tugged and pulled between are indicative or a reflection extension of the tug and pull going on the inside of her. But Jordan looks up, talks to the waiter to officially order her food, and she wants to get the swordfish, but oh boy tell her that they is out of the swordfish. She like, oh nah, you need to go back there and figure it out, go fishing, talk to the manager, figure out what you're gonna do, snap your finger, call the genie, rub the bottle, get us some swordfish off up in here, okay? And I feel like Black Karen tease. Jordan ain't do too much, but she did get the waiter together because he said, well, no more fish. When in actuality, Jordan, if you hadn't been up here on the phone doing the most, then you probably would have ordered sooner and you probably would have got that last piece of swordfish. Okay? Okay. But this fine hunk of chocolate, ooh-wee, walks over, ooh-wee. And he like, oh, my bad, I think I got the last one, but you can have this one. And she's like, oh, no, that's okay. I don't take other people's fish. He like, it ain't mine until I bite it. And I'm like, oh, what else you trying to bite? Oh, and I see it kind of like, oh, it took Jordan back too, like, oh, wait a minute, now I'm good. Just, trying to play it out because that man is, fine. He giving M'Baku vibes, you know what I'm saying? Fine. And he was being nice. And I feel like he was being nice to be nice, but I also feel like he was flirting. He was definitely flirting. And I liked his approach because it seemed like he also peeped that she was like tense. And she was getting even more worked up because she couldn't get what she wanted. And so he was like trying to level it out. And I love that he did it in that way, as opposed to being antagonistic like some men have a tendency to do and just try to, you being a bitch, you need to stop, He was a nice guy. And he went over there, he gave her a different level of energy to elevate to. Oh, there that word again. Elevation, okay? He gave her a new level of energy to elevate to, as opposed to meeting her on the level that she was at and further antagonizing and irritating the situation. So I love that writing and I love the chemistry of the actors. So we then transition to the card game with the fellas. Everybody catching up, talking about everything. They get into asking Quentin how he met the unicorn. How did he meet quiamara? Merch chimes in to let everybody know that he knows the story. And they met on a set of one of her shows. She was having a wardrobe issue. They sent them back there to talk to her. Merch talking about, you put that charm on her, huh? And he like, nah, she cussed me the fuck out. But she thought I was going to kiss her ass or whatever. And I didn't until I saw it in a thong. I heard that. And so, like I said before, that particular aspect also like kind of dead the narrative to me that Quentin was just like doing some completely different shit. Because even though she's a Zen bitch, she still is also a Queen of Swords with chop your head off ass bitch too. Which is definitely Quentin's type. House or never. We then find out that your girl is tripping a little tight because she done got Quentin off the herb, child. Because Merch was like, you know what I'm saying, Harper needs to relax. Because Harper was asking Quentin, you know what I'm saying, are you sure? Now this, that, and the third. Things got a little spicy. And Merch was like, everybody just needs to relax. Merch, just relax. I mean, Harper, just relax. You know what I'm saying? You've been a little aggressive. Speaking of which, I got this big old bag of edibles. And Quentin talking about he don't fuck with the weed no more. Excusez-moi. Like, what? And I'm like, it ain't like you about to smoke it. He brought edibles. Now see, that right there. Now that right there is a major standout. But if I heard correctly, Lance was trying to get him some so he can go have some, trips with some of the locals, okay? Which I believe he did. But honey, we'll get there when we get there. So Harper was about to initiate the conversation about the book turned movie to Lance. He asked him, could he speak to him for a little bit? And that gets broken up by Quentin's daddy entering the room, yelling something. Another one bites the dust or something of the sort. When he break up the room, come in, introduce himself to everybody. He like, hey, yeah. And boy, when I said I got the perfect person to play Quentin's daddy, the perfect person. I do not know that man's name, but I know he is the perfect person. I done seen him in other movies, and he is definitely the perfect person. But y'all, he's shady as hell too, cause he talking about, Harper, you still writing? I'm like, sir. Why it sound like he was looking for a slang term or something? You still writing? And he said it like Harper is doing something unsavory or something, like he sell drugs or something. But he like, yeah, I got a lot of bestsellers, a movie coming out, and Papa still don't look pleased, honey. He still look like, oh yeah, okay, all right. Then he go on over to Lance. He like, you know what I'm saying? Life kicks us in the ball sometime. How you holding up? Lance tell him, pussy. Lots and lots and lots of, yeah. He said, oh, good advice as any. Now that he seems to be more approving of, right? Then get on over to Merch, and he think Merch is a daggone waiter or something. Talking about, give me a old-fashioned 3 cubes. That ain't what he said. He said an appletini. He wanted an appletini with 3 cubes. And Quentin got to tell him, this is Merch. He not the hell. What's happening? Just stunning the shit out of Merch. But I also feel like some of these are implications of what's to come and what's to come out in the later episodes. But he becomes reminded, and he like, oh, yeah, you used to date that shrew that's now on Housewives and whatnot. And baby, that is an old term, honey. That is a old term. I'm telling y'all, I love the writing, y'all. I love the writing. Because that's the old man ass term. He done called that lady a shrew. A shrew. And for those of y'all that don't know, shrew is an old term for bitch. Basically, an unpleasant, rowdy woman that likes to fight. Yeah. Tisk. Then he says, but you married a stripper, huh? And Merch feels the need to emphasize beyond that they didn't bond over the stripping. Well, they kind of did, but Merch is emphasizing that they bonded over literature. That's so funny to me. Oh my goodness, it's so funny to me because it's so real to me. Like, you have the parent come in, and we usually see this with the women. We usually see the friend group of women. They have their mom or aunt or whatever comes in, their grandma or whatever, and the lady is shady boots. But this time we got the friend group of men, and the daddy is shady boots, honey. And everybody is shaking in their boots and trying to pull it together in the midst of all the shade. Tisk. And y'all daddy actually talked to Lance first, but that's beside the point. So after he wrap up with all that, he then wants to pull Quentin to the side so that they can talk about some stuff concerning the family business. And Quentin is like, right now, I'm chilling, we vibing, da-da-da-da. And his daddy kind of strong on him in a way, and it's like, yo, this is the family business. You're taking over the family business. And if your wife is about to be the face of our business, we gonna have to get it together, okay? You need to act like you stepping into black excellence, okay? Because I done built mine, and it's time for you to build on yours, on top of mine. You know what I'm saying? So what we can also get from here is that while Quentin has been the wild card, free spirit type of character, we're able to see from this interaction that he's potentially that way because his daddy is a bit strict. He's a bit pressuring, which essentially creates rebellious kids, okay? A lot of people who come up in very strict or by the book type of households, or has like a helicopter hovering type of parent, they end up a lot of the time, not all, but a lot of the time end up being rebellious. Some conform, but some end up being rebellious. So we're able to see that Quentin is one that is more rebellious to that. I mean, we knew that anyway, but now we see why. We see basically what he's been rebelling from, what he's been trying to differentiate himself from. Not only the strictness of it all, but I think it's also about identity, trying to create his own identity, what makes him unique, what makes him a standout amongst this family legacy. And I think that also gives a bit of implication as to his attraction for Quiamara as well, because she seems to be harmonious, both a wild card and a great look to fit in with the family. But this scene wraps up with daddy getting distracted and looking for the bartender so he can get his drink. And then we pan over to merch, and he is overwhelmed by the cannabis edibles in front of him. Child, if I was there, I'd have helped him out. But y'all, this is going to be a 3-parter because, like I said, it is a lot that is jam-packed into these individual episodes. It's literally like mini movies. So I'm probably going to do that with all of the episodes, have them in 3-parters, because they are set up like first act, second act, third act type shit. So yeah. And my phone is also about to die. And the third act of this episode has quite a bit of deep shit and a lot going on all at the same time. And I know it's going to be a whole lot to talk about. So definitely make sure that you come back through for the third part. And if you have not seen the first part, make sure you watch it as well. Make sure you go through all of my content and see what you like and like what you see. But darling, I have milked this cow dry. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. If you're feeling synchronized, please like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you all light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.